Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create a Facebook ad. Now, obviously you're going to have to log into Facebook, and the first thing you're going to have to do is go over to your Facebook page or make sure that you've already created a Facebook page. If you don't have one, you can't run an ad. So let's do that first. Here I am on the most updated version of Facebook, and it selects either business or brand and community or public figure. Let's go for business or brand. And we'll select a category, continue. Okay, so now it's going to take me through the process of setting up my Facebook page, but I don't want to spend time doing on that. That's very easy stuff. You guys can figure that out very easily. What I'd like to do is use this page now and go back to Facebook. I can actually just click the top right button here and go ahead and go down to create ads. All right, so here we are in the ad manager. And you'll notice three main sections here on the left: campaign, ad set, and ad. And we're going to be going through campaign objectives first. So the first thing to do is select our objective. Now Facebook gives you a variety of different objectives, and each of them is for a different type of marketing strategy. So the first falls under awareness. You just want people to know about your brand. You don't necessarily want to sell anything. So that's brand awareness. That's going to get people to see your product in ads, but not necessarily get them to take action. Same as reach. You don't really want to use these two very often unless you have a very large budget, and you definitely want awareness, top of the funnel awareness, as a key objective. A lot of people find themselves using the consideration objectives, specifically traffic and video views, as well as engagement, and occasionally lead gen and messages. Messages growing more popular every month, it seems. That's kind of a new feature. So traffic means sending people to your website from Facebook. Engagement means getting likes, comments, and shares. And you can read these at any time by hovering over the eye icon. It will tell you more about each objective. App installs, if you want someone to install your mobile app. Video views is great. It's a very popular advertising mechanism. Videos get a lot of engagement. People like watching videos. It's a great way to story tell and combine advertising in very engaging and visual medium. Lead gen means you want people to sign up, often giving their email or phone number. Messages can be created directly in the Facebook Messenger app. You can have an advertisement there when people scroll down to see what messages they have. Conversion is sort of a later funnel objective, and you're actually trying to get people to commit to something, either to signing up for a webinar, buying something from your catalog, or visiting your store. For the purpose of the Facebook ad, we're just going to click traffic. A very basic campaign objective, something you might want to try out to start, just getting people onto your website. So we can go ahead and create a campaign name, and we're going to call this Christmas Sale Backpack. Okay, we don't need to click create split test or optimization right now. We can just click continue and let the campaign be completed. So now we're into the ad set. This is where we begin targeting and creating the offer, the placements, the budget. So we want traffic to our website, and we're going to scroll down a little bit. We're not going to use these features such as dynamic creative or offer. We're going to go and create an audience. And the first thing you'll notice is that we can either use a previously created custom or lookalike audience. We don't have one yet. This is our first audience, so we wouldn't be able to use that. First audience we're going to create is users in New York, because I want my ad to go to heavily populated cities. Let's say that. And so you can see that it's very easy to add cities, and then as well determine what size radius from the center of that city, right? So I can go down to 15 miles, 10 miles, 10 miles being the smallest for some of these cities. And you can add as many locations as you want. And you can also exclude locations. So maybe let's say you didn't pick cities, right? Maybe something more standard is maybe you just picked the United States in general as the whole country. But then you want to exclude something like Alaska. It's quite common. And maybe Hawaii. Those are quite common. So this ad is going to be seen by anyone in the United States except in Alaska or Hawaii. And we could add Canada as well. Make sure we click include. Add that country. So Canada in the United States. And you can sort of visualize where your audience is. Now at this point, start looking over here to the right side and you'll notice your audience size. So potentially we can reach 260 million people, which is a massive amount, right? We're probably not going to want to advertise that widely. So let's remove Canada, and let's also shrink down the age demographic because we don't want to show our ad to people, who might not be buying. So 18 is fine, but I think we're definitely going to be lowering this to about 35. Okay, men and women, we're going to select just men for this. So now our audience size is down to 53 million, a little bit smaller. And based on our budget size, we can see how much reach and link clicks we can get per day. Now, language you can typically leave as default English, but perhaps you want to market to specific languages. That can be very powerful. And one of the more interesting and powerful aspects of Facebook marketing is the interest-based marketing, where you can add demographics, interests, or behaviors. So we could begin adding other brands in here, such as Nike, Adidas, like people we think that would like our bags that might like some similar companies, depending on what type of, audience you're looking for. But basically here we're trying to say, hey, look, we're trying to get to the males 18 to 35 who live in the US, who like brands like Nike, Supreme, Adidas, and now you can see our reach is down to 17 million people. Something more reasonable. We probably want to go even lower than that. We could start adding more interests, but really they only have to match one. So let's actually remove Nike and we'll go down to 14 million people. Let's remove Adidas. So we're really going to target Supreme clothing users, which is, fine to start. You can definitely add some other things in here. And you can also exclude people and narrow people in the same fashion as before. So sometimes you might want to exclude your own Facebook page. Maybe you don't want your own fans to see this ad. Or maybe you don't want certain people in certain demographics, interests, and behaviors. And we can click the browse button both here and up here to take a look at some of the more specific Facebook targeting options, such as education, financials. Like we can go in here and say, I only want people with a certain level of income. We can go into interests and say, I only want people who are interested in, bodybuilding or weight training or yoga. We can go into behaviors and we can say, hey, we want someone who has an anniversary within 60 days. Or maybe I want expats because I'm targeting digital nomads. Expats might be a great detailed targeting modifier to create. So, let's go ahead and type in expat. Not just, there might be other categories. So when we type it in, we can see all of the different ways to target expats. So expats living abroad, let's target them. And then let's click suggestions and we're going to get some other Facebook recommended suggestions. So away from hometown, that's a great one. Friends of those who live abroad, maybe for gifts. Okay, so now we're building out a very specific audience of United States males, and we're going to be able to show them our advertisement. Here it says connections, so people who like your Facebook page, friends of people who like your page, and here's also where you can exclude people who like your page. I think I mentioned that up here. This is probably the more appropriate place to select that. Things like people who have responded to your event, that's a very powerful for event-based marketing. And you can go ahead and save this audience, and I'm going to go save it as US male 1835 brand lover nomad. Okay, something like that, something specific. So at this point, we are we have a saved audience and we could recall that audience at any time in the future. But now we need to talk about placements. Where is your ad going to be seen? Here we can see Facebook suggesting us to use the marketplace, which might be correct, but we're just going to dismiss this from now. Now, the key thing here is not to use the automatic placements. It's recommended, but it really shouldn't be, because allowing automatic placements lets Facebook place the ad wherever they want. And that may be fine for awareness, but that doesn't really seem to be the best thing based on maybe who your audience typically is and how they interact with Facebook placements. So let's go ahead and click Edit Placements. And you can see that Facebook is selected with all of the Facebook options, Instagram, Audience Network, Messenger. We want to turn off all of these. And it's not that we don't like Facebook, Instagram, Audience Network. It's just for each ad, we really want to be specific. And you're really going to want to go to feeds, potentially in-stream videos if you're using videos. And that's about it. You could try Marketplace. If you want to do an Instagram, do it in a separate ad. And I don't recommend using Audience Network. Messenger is something to test depending on what type of product you use. So let's stick with feeds and Marketplace. All devices, that's fine. But let's definitely click only when connected to Wi-Fi, simply because people who are on Wi-Fi are much more likely to engage in an ad. When you're mobile data, you're being very cautious about how you spend your data, and you aren't necessarily having the time to go through an ad or a funnel. And now we're down to budget and schedule. You're going to need to select your daily budget, and I simply recommend $5 to start. The great thing about Facebook ads is it's so easy to increase your budget, and at the same time, it's so easy to get some real data from just $5 to get a sense of whether the ad is performing well or not. I recommend you run your ad continuously, not setting a start or end date. You want to have full control, and you can see you're going to spend $35 per week. So here, optimizing ad delivery for link clicks, but you may want to actually go for landing page views. What is the difference? Well, link clicks means the link is clicked, but that means the user may not have actually seen the landing page. They may have clicked the back button, they may have navigated away, and this optimization allows you to be certain that they actually see your landing page, which I think is more valuable. You can set a bid cap if you don't want to spend more than, 50 cents per landing page view, but this may cause you to receive less impressions because you won't be as competitive in the marketplace. You'll get charged per landing page impression, and delivery type, you might want to go accelerated. There's no reason necessarily to pick standard or accelerated. Standard means your money is spaced out over the day and over time, whereas accelerated, they will spend your budget as fast as possible. I don't really see anything wrong with accelerated. People may be afraid to do it that way, but I think it's okay. You can click continue. Okay, so here we are on the Create Ad dashboard, and we've selected our Facebook page, and we're going to just select single image. You might select a video, slideshow, collection, carousel. You should really get to learn all of the ad formats, and they're constantly updating them and changing them based on what they think is going to be the most effective. So scroll down a ways. They're always trying to get you to try more ad products because that way you'll spend more money, but you can often sort of ignore a lot of these tool tips and additional content they're trying to share. I just want to create a basic ad here. I'm going to upload an image here. All right, I've uploaded my image for my ad. It's someone wearing our backpack. And you could go ahead and review placements, how they look based on the different feeds, which is pretty cool. I think this looks pretty good. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to start writing the copy. So I want people to go to my website. So I can enter my website URL here. And that's going to display down here. But the next thing I need to do is write my copy. And if you're running a Facebook ad, you really need to focus on very clear, benefit driven, what's in it for the user copy. So we're giving away 10 free backpacks to anyone, to lucky winners who sign up for our giveaway. Now that's not very good. That's something I came up in 10 seconds with. So you can try that. I think that free really stands out here, and enter to win is going to be my headline. That's going to show up down here, and we can actually, you know, select different call to actions here. I think sign up is the best. So that's how it is. You know, you set the campaign up, you set your objective, you set the parameters for how you want to run your ad, the traffic, the audience, the placements, the budgets, and then you create the ad. You know, there's two facets here. There's the management of the ad sets, and then there's the creative, the photo, the video, the copy. So two distinct areas, and you just go ahead and click confirm here. You know, if you haven't put in your credit card information, you'll be prompted to do so, but just like that, your ad will be running. You'll be up and running, and you'll be able to access all of your data and analytics here in the ad manager by going over to click at all tools, and you can click on analytics. There's a lot of other things to get to know here. You can create and test product ads in the Creative Hub. You can learn and test and read your analytics in Measure and Report, and this is where you can set up pixels. You'll want to set up a Facebook pixel on your website so you can track what's happening to the people who visit your site from Facebook, and you'll be able to determine, you know, whether custom conversions are, you know, completed, meaning did someone sign up for your contest, did someone buy something, did they subscribe, and we can track that sort of objective. Assets, you're going to find all of your videos, images, and media here, and then more billing and business settings here. So the ad manager is quite a potent piece of software by Facebook, giving you everything you need to set up those Facebook ads. And I would just like to give you one last piece of advice is Facebook ads are about testing, iterations, small budgets, trying things to see if they're going to work before spending too much, and using the data to let you know whether or not something's working, whether or not people are engaged with the ad, whether they are driving traffic or not. And when you see something that's working, that's when you're going to be able to increase the budget. So it's a very low risk way to advertise and start testing different messages and different audiences. And the Facebook platform remains the #1 advertising platform in the world because of this power. So get out there, try a bunch of ads, create different audiences, create different pictures, try different copy, colors, everything. And that's the way you're going to find that winning ad. So good luck with that. See you in the next video.